snow.
All right, let's have it, Mike.
Is frightful, but this fire is so delightful. Have no better place to go. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Well, ladies and gentlemen, believe it or not, we have returned. After our blizzard-induced absence, it is now February 23rd, and the fun show has returned to big TV.
What do you mean it's February 23rd?
It's February the 23rd.
It is?
What did you think it was, the 2nd?
It feels, well, my wife had a birthday. We had a...
Wow, how old is she now?
Oh, she
wouldn't want to. Oh,
she
we're not
wouldn't.
supposed
I'm
to.
41.
Well, I
okay,
knew that.
yeah,
I knew it was 41.
And an
You're really
anniversary
young,
too.
didn't you?
Mike thinks it's Groundhog's Day. You
Yeah,
say.
an
Still
anniversary.
February 2nd.
Now that the 66th.
Okay.
That's a long one. Okay.
Gotcha.
Anyway, this is indeed the fun show. This is Michael Sallen. This is Kiera Miner. I'm Arch O'Riley. You've gotten used to not seeing us, so try to saddle up and get used to seeing us again.
And they haven't seen the keyboard in.
No, they haven't seen the
How
keyboard
long's it been gone?
since it
This
died.
keyboard
It's a brand new keyboard.
comes from this young lady. She
Oh.
donated this.
Thanks to Kiera,
Well, it was a worthy cause.
and it sounds better.
It does sound better, but
And-
I sound lousy.
So we imported
No,
a
you
better
don't.
keyboard player.
Thank you.
He looks just like
He's-
Mike, though.
But and he's
Special effects.
Oh,
and the
okay.
Oscar goes to...
and he's under the table. Wait, get out! Get out! You asshole.
Right,
You
he's just
rotten
putting his
little-
hands up.
Yes, exactly.
That's
It's
it.
Doug.
a little
That's what it
disturbing.
is. It's Doug.
That's
Doug.
Doug. We have to do the
Uncle
puppet thing.
Papa or
Yeah,
whatever.
he is.
Grandpa Lizard.
Grandpa
we need
Lizard.
him to visit again.
Yeah, we miss you, Grandpa Lizard. Okay.
He's under the table. His hands are playing.
All
the
right,
thing,
now,
you know,
okay, so we don't want to mention all that bloody white stuff out there. I don't know.
Are you talking about the?
Snow.
Yeah.
No snow.
It's going to be a long time before we see spring, I
Yeah,
would
it
say.
I think
certainly
so.
is. Will
Though
it-
it's not that long away.
Will
for-
it come by Patriots Day? Will the streets be clear for the marathon?
I don't think so. I don't
figure
think
it
no.
out.
People, the marathoners
It's
are
not
going to
till
be
April.
skiing down the hills
The
from
marathon's in
BC.
April.
Okay.
I know.
Okay, then we are gonna. It'll be clear.
It won't be
No, it's
clear.
gonna be
No.
clear. I'll take a bet. You
He
wanna
always
take a
has
bet?
water to give
Here's
them.
the,
Yeah.
Here's the story. Now old timers like Mike and I are going to have to stop.
I'm not old.
Old timers like me will have to.
Thank you.
Will have to. It also points out my grammar was incorrect the first time around, but
I
we
didn't
have
say
to
anything.
stop telling stories about the blizzard of '78 now, because this storm is now a good 20 inches over the blizzard of '78.
Is it really?
Yes.
Except
And
the
the
blizzard of
announcers-
78 happened all at once.
No, it didn't. It was so big because it was, in fact, the quote blizzard of '78 was the third storm in about 3 weeks.
And,
Okay.
and
It was sort of the
So
same
similar
pattern.
the
situation.
meteorologist
Okay.
says more snow is in store for us and sub-zero weather.
Yeah. Well, the
Not a lot of snow.
The funny thing is, I had a very important meeting to me yesterday. It was over at the country club, and
Ooh, the country club.
there was a
Ooh.
there was a big
La-di-da.
there was a big question as to whether people would get there. There were people coming from Berlin, from Texas, from Washington D.C.
I couldn't get into
from
Burger
Florida.
King, for
Is this for
heaven's
your
sake.
birthday party?
No,
Oh.
this was
Oh, this is the other thing.
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati.
Gotcha.
But
The sons
The
of
issue- You
had a
the
birthday party in our
officers of the
absence.
Revolution.
the descendants of officers of the Continental Forces of the American Revolution. Yes.
Okay.
In any case,
Now
I
bring the bugle in
remembered
next week.
You should.
that for at least the last 8 years, I have not even buttoned my coat on February 22nd. And here we were, up to here. It's a very unusual year, and I've had enough of it.
Me too.
I finally got a chance to use my sled dogs and my sleigh outside and back.
You didn't
Yeah.
tell me. I thought you were gonna let me join in with that.
No, I like the dogs to just deal with me when I'm running around the house following them.
I
And I
coulda
was
had you go to
throwing
the-
them fish all the way.
I could have had you go to the store for me.
I went
Yeah,
to
you guys
the, I
are
went to
right
the
across the
bakery.
street.
Yes. Do you realize that our street in North Brookline has not had a parking space on it this month?
I believe it based on what I saw.
None at all.
Wait a
There's
minute,
not
what's
been
a
a place-
parking? What's a parking space?
Yeah.
I don't know what
Yeah,
it is.
No,
well, it's
nothing.
when
It's a
you're-
one-way lane
It's
everywhere.
when your street is actually wide enough for one car to pass another.
I was driving
Yeah.
someplace, I can't remember where, and I was going down this, it was a one
No,
lane,
Murmansk.
it was a one lane street, cars on both sides. I think it was in Boston. And I stopped. What did I see? I saw a shoveled out space on one side of the street with what looked like a whole ceramic fountain. I mean, a great big fountain.
This was their
in the
space
riddle,
saver.
In the
in the middle.
space.
They weren't messing. It took
I
two
mean, how
people
the
to
hell-
put that. They
how
took
could
two
they get
people.
that out
it
there?
took
I
two
mean,
people to put it out there, so that
say-
way no one moved it.
Too easy.
See?
Too easy to steal my lawn chair.
Exactly.
I
Come
almost
steal
ran
my bird
into,
bath.
I almost ran into a snowbank.
If it
when
had
I
been
saw
in
it.
Revere, it would have been a Madonna on the half shell.
Yes.
But can you
That's funny. That would've
believe
been
this thing?
hysterical.
This thing was this about that
That
big.
would have been a great picture. I can't believe you didn't have a cell phone and been able to snap a
you're
picture.
right, I should've,
mean,
yeah.
it was definitely a picture moment.
Okay, all right.
All right.
I think you old people need to get in on the cell phone thing.
Cell phones. Well,
Yeah.
no thanks. My daughter.
But you have computers, right?
My daughter
Yeah.
took a picture of my car. She came bravely thinking she was going to dig my car out, and
Okay.
instead she showed up at my house with a cell phone picture of my car, which has the snow is 7 feet high on the top of my car, and there's 25 cubic yards of snow behind my car, because the gentleman who gets paid to plow the driveway. Plowed the driveway all the way up and then left all the snow behind my car.
That's so thoughtful of them. So thoughtful.
So I'm
Do
hoping
you now?
I'm hoping maybe Patriots Day I'll see my car again.
You know what? I think you might have to wait a little bit.
Yes. More than
Because
April.
even if this road's clear so people can run,
I'll send the
there's still
tow
gonna be
truck
some
over to pull
snow
it out for you
banks.
tomorrow.
I don't think a tow truck could pull it through 25
Well, they have
cubic
a- They would
have to
yards
dig
of
it
snow.
Well,
out.
actually,
Yeah,
two
they'd have to dig
tow trucks
first.
go to your car. One to pull out the first tow truck, and then to pull, then to get at yours. See, but all right, okay. Now, what else has happened since we went away?
Oh my goodness,
Oh,
so many
any
things.
number of things. There have been several birthdays in our extended family.
What about you? Anything
Me?
happened with you?
I don't know. I don't think so. I've been trying to survive the snow like
You look
everybody
as
else.
charming as ever, my dear.
Well, thank you, sir.
As you said,
so
nothing
do you.
new. Right.
She always looks
Shucks.
great.
You
She
guys,
does.
stop! You're embarrassing me.
Well, that's
Stop.
I mean, I hope I am.
Stop.
Reedy was yelling, enough.
Did she yell at you?
Yes. What else? No, she doesn't yell at me.
Oh,
no.
but you got a talking
has a
to,
whip,
did you?
you know,
she
she
just snapped
gives me
the
a
whip
snap
at you
the
and
whip.
said, "All right, enough."
That's all.
I learned
enough.
something last night, however, watching the Oscars that I never would have believed, and it thunderstruck me. The fact that this woman named Lady Gaga can actually sing.
So
and
you learned
sings
something new.
Very well.
She's a duet
Wow.
with Tony
If
Bennett.
If she
the
knew
whole
how you
album,
felt
but-
about her
which-
before,
which-
she'd be happy to hear this
Which
now.
makes me wonder why so often I've seen her before she didn't demonstrate that ability. What do you see about the young Cuban the Red Sox just signed?
Oh, they signed a Cuban?
Yeah, they signed a 19-year-old Cuban phenom. I think they're paying him like $30 million or something.
This will be interesting.
Not in tacos.
But he was a
no.
free agent, which meant he was interviewed by a whole bunch of teams and could have signed with anybody.
Does
and
he- does
and
he
he signed
pitch
with the
or-
Sox. He's an infielder.
Oh, infielders.
Infielders who wants
Wow.
Well, now, we once had a really great shortstop, and he's just come back to play left field. Do you
Who's
remember
that?
the name Hanley Ramirez?
Yes, we traded him.
He was supposed to be the future great, I don't know who he was meant to be, Luis Aparicio or something. He was meant to be great, and we traded him to the Florida Marlins or one of those teams.
And he did great.
And now, approaching the second half of his career, let's be generous, he's come
It
back.
is
He's
generous.
come back to the Red Sox, and he's going to play left field.
Well, and they still got that old man Ortiz. He's got a beard down to his knees now, hasn't he?
Really?
Methuselah lived 10,000 years.
Well, he'll probably hit better than all of them. All right, okay.
He's special.
Yes, Methuselah lived 10,000 years.
What's that from?
That's a famous song.
I
that
knew.
they-
I had
yeah.
a feeling. It
Who
sounded
calls
familiar.
that living when no gal will give in to no man who's 10,000
It's a
years?
famous song a long time ago.
Porgy and Bess.
Bess. Okay.
Porgy and Bess.
I'll have to do a little research. You couldn't resist. You've been dying to play that piano. We've never gotten a middle of the show segue with piano
Well, I
playing.
thought-
This is.
Occasionally, in the
Does
old
he
days,
He
you
was
used
occasionally?
singing in the middle of the show. I
That's
could do
true.
something
You figured
different.
you had to jump in
If
there.
you call that singing, yes.
Yeah, I think you
All
were.
set.
The employees should have been brought to the MBTA services clinic for, I don't know. What that is all.
Mandatory
Anyway.
post-accident drug and
Just-
alcohol screening.
Now, wait a minute. We
Before
got
went on-
Netanyahu.
Just before we went on the air,
Yeah.
you were complaining about T employees shoveling out the tracks. I'm not sure why. Oh, you said because you remember in the old days where all the trolley cars had plows on them.
Now, I read in the papers, yes. They'd come down and they'd wipe out all the tracks.
Why can't they just put plows on the
Well,
the
they
green
did.
line?
They did it. And some genius who was driving the MBTA,
Plow thingy.
no, a streetcar, or whatever it is, that car, hit a telephone pole with it.
How do you hit a telephone pole with a
Yeah.
streetcar that's on rails?
I read
That's
I
a really
showed it to
good
read.
question.
The guy, evidently, the thing was so big, the
Tis
plow.
a puzzlement.
Tis a puzzlement. Okay.
It's a little bizarre.
And there's Baker. There's all these things about Baker. He'll get to the bottom of all this
Well, the
stuff.
funny thing is, I think it's probably correct that nobody jumped on Charlie Baker for this Blizzard fiasco, because let us remind ourselves that he'd been in office exactly 2 weeks.
Yeah, exactly.
He'd just about found his office, and he ran,
We're
you
gonna
know,
cut him
as a
some slack.
manager,
He
right?
did he solved the big dig. He
You
got
can't-
enough money.
You can't manage anything 2 weeks after you start.
Yeah,
an
he knows all
unprecedented
Not at all.
thing.
He
You're
makes
still so
money
many
for all
stumbling
these
first.
companies.
However, it might have occurred to him to actually talk to the people running the tea. You know,
That'll be his hard lesson.
he said he was relying on his Secretary of Transportation, and I would be willing to give money to anybody in this state who could name his Secretary of Transportation. And like we didn't know the executive director of the T, I don't think his Secretary of
Can you
Transportation
name
knew.
the lieutenant governor of our state? Can you name her?
I always.
It's a she.
It's not Healy, is it?
Yeah, it is.
It's a she.
I passed. I'm not sure how I passed. Oh, don't
think
put me
it
on the
is,
spot
isn't
like
it?
that.
What
I'm
is her name,
terrible at these
Polito?
things.
Oh, that's it.
It's not Healy.
Sorry, no.
It used to be?
It's something
Like Polito?
Something Polito.
Polito.
Yeah.
And Karen Polito is her
Yeah,
name.
yeah.
It finally comes back
I didn't
to me.
even get it right.
Karen Polito. And the funny thing is,
She looks smarter than him.
he keeps
Okay,
putting her up
Baker.
next to him when he appears on
And
things, which
she's
is
about 5 feet
'cause
2.
nobody
He's
paid
6
any
feet
attention to
6.
her when she was running.
Yeah.
And the thing,
I like her.
Not to cause distress, the thing I might remind people is that she was the Massachusetts head of the Tea Party.
Yeah.
Oh.
She is a right-wing nut fanatic.
Well, you
Wow.
now just exaggerate a bit. I mean,
Tell us how you feel.
No, I'm understating it. That's
Oh, come on.
Anyway, so Charlie gets a pass on this, and he did know enough history to appear in a cardigan.
I don't know that reference.
78, Michael appeared on television several times in managing the Blizzard of 78 in what was unprecedented in that time, appearing in a sweater on television as
Versus
the governor.
a
Check
suit.
it, look
So I
at your-
noticed Charlie knows his history, and
Look
he
at
showed
your
up in a
watch.
cardigan.
Look at your
Gotcha.
watch. If I
The
can
watch
find
weird.
it.
Look at my
It's
wart.
15.
Look at my wart.
It's
Where
time
I-
for
my
it's
wart's here.
playtime.
Oh, is it? No,
And
it's
Michael
1
keeps
minute
getting
to.
distracted by all
Oh,
the papers. He's got a month worth of clippings here because we've been away. He doesn't know what to do with himself.
From a month, not
I
by
know, and now you're gonna not get to enjoy the fruits of your labor.
No.
I don't think you nearly get to enjoy the fruits of your labor
I'm
in
going to
general.
cut it all up
This
and get
one-
on a ladder and throw it all on top of all of you.
I think
It's
you were-
confetti.
I like this headline.
should.
I like this headline that I just picked up here.
What?
MBTA investigates AWL inspector. Are they sure he's not in a snowbank
That's
somewhere?
where he was. He was covered up with snow.
Was he?
Yeah, he was on the tracks. They came by.
They need a
that was
siege
it.
party. How many stories did
That's
we
pretty
have
funny.
of people who fell in the
making that
snow and were found the next morning
I
or
was
something.
tunneling. I was
Those
tunneling.
are all drunk people. Those are all drunk people
these
that
were-
pass out in the
I hate to
snow.
say it, these were all older people.
I was
Gotcha.
building an
Aw.
igloo. Yeah, I was. You know, I
You built
figured-
an igloo?
Yeah, I
igloo.
started an igloo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really
Excellent.
thought it was a little bit
And
not much.
it was
you know.
quickly occupied by all the neighborhood cats. Ladies and
cat party in
gentlemen,
the
it is
igloo.
now time
The
for
cats
the
like the igloo.
Big TV Unrehearsed Thespian Society's return engagement after a long absence. And to celebrate our long absence from the air, we have reached deep into the vault this time. We are resurrecting a classic. Just as Lady Gaga brought back The Sound of Music, we are bringing back a classic enterprise called A Cabinet Please.
A cabinet, please.
This certainly is ice cream weather.
You said that last week.
So she's late twice in a row.
Everyone likes ice cream.
Especially when it's hot and sticky.
No, it melts.
So you eat faster.
Kids adore it.
Doesn't everyone?
Wait for a cone is fine in line.
He's a poet.
All smiles and joy.
Well, I never saw the president eat an ice cream cone.
Maybe
I
he,
still love
maybe
them,
he
though.
likes milkshakes, though.
In Woonsocket, they were called cabinets.
Now
Doesn't
that's
make any
weird.
sense. That's just bizarre. Ever try a Slurpee?
What's a Slurpee?
Anticipating that first bite.
That cold sweetness.
You wish it wouldn't end?
It's a national summer craze.
Oh, well, I think I'll have another then.
But you already had a 3-scooper in a sugar cone.
Too many calories.
Spoil sport.
There is sugar-free frozen yogurt.
Man, not bad.
And there's all those endless flavors and toppings.
Mine's pistachio.
Rum raisin for me.
Well, I'll have vanilla. I'm a purist.
True, it goes well with everything.
The supermarkets carry plenty of everything.
Yeah, but that's not the same.
Lines at the checkout counter.
They still have a few ice cream trucks selling goodies these days.
Of course, it costs more now.
Too bad they were all addicted.
The president with a female championship lacrosse team.
What, did he serve ice cream?
No, but they were all wearing flip-flops.
What the heck is that?
Senator Kerry.
Hilarious.
Rubber soles with thongs.
What's the big deal?
Not the proper footwear for the White House.
So, it'd be better if they were wearing boots?
Ha! It's about propriety.
Would you greet the president while licking a cone?
Yes, and I'd offer him some.
Ah, wise guy.
You know, they could have been wearing bathing suits.
Are you batty?
A dip in the White House pool, anyone?
Cut the horseplay.
The kids were in awe of the meeting.
Now listen, in my youth I was a high roller at the bowling league.
Why bring that up?
I wasn't invited
I
to.
wasn't invited to see the president.
No, you weren't. You look like it. That's silly.
Hey, look, I got a trophy.
And you want a special presentation by the president?
What is this? Would this go better if we had a microphone?
I
on,
think so.
on mic?
You know,
I'm getting the microphone back.
I think this is a first.
are we?
I don't know where we are. I've lost
We're
my
at the
place.
top of page 5. All right, folks, now you see why we're the Unrehearsed Thespian Society.
They,
Throw a mic on him somewhere, will you?
I'm almost there. I'm almost there.
What was your line?
We good?
They bowled.
Okay. All right, I'm going to just start with,
I got a trophy.
Oh, a
is that you? You got a trophy or
an
I got a
Oscar? You
trophy?
didn't get an Oscar.
I got a trophy. Oh, and
okay.
you want a special presentation by the president?
Hey, they bowl a lot in red states.
These were a group of young women.
Swell. So this means I have to put on a skirt?
Now, that would be a funny sight.
The president would have a good laugh.
Well, would Karl Rove be there?
You're politicizing a joke.
He laughs at all the hoopla over the CIA agent.
Ice cream, flip-flops, and this?
Seems appropriate to me.
Since when?
Since when?
Okay, but which party likes ice cream more?
He's daffy today.
And which one wears more flip-flops?
Hey, you're starting to loosen up there, Kiera.
They might be a valid for discussion purposes.
You're agreeing with the nut cake?
What? You feel intimidated by all these purely innocent questions?
Cooler Joe.
Get serious, Joe.
What's wrong with a lighter moment?
I'm glad we're going out for the evening.
For once, I can really use a drink.
Yeah, martini straight up.
What are you inferring?
Why not a nice blue-collar beer?
Let's continue this at that corner pub
Now tell me, how do you make ice cream?
with milk, cream, egg, and flavoring.
Cook it until it's like custard.
Then dump it into the churn.
You mean it's like making butter?
Except this one has ice and salt.
Around the outside part.
I see, I think.
Now, can we go?
Seems like a lot of work for ice cream.
Anything good requires effort.
So keep tuned in.
Like out. Look, that was actually an appropriate ending.
Yes, it was.
What was the word you used to describe what kind of, what did you say that was?
A philosophical conundrum.
Philosophical conundrum. We need more of those.
Oh, okay.
Now, let's speculaate on how long Michael didn't have a microphone for the
How
show.
long didn't you have the microphone? How much of
It
this?
fell off while I was.
During
And
the
then
thing?
you reached for it?
And I reached down.
Okay,
for
so it wasn't that
That
long.
wasn't bad. Because Doug, when he shows pictures, he does YouTube. That guy loses his mind half the time, anyways. Also, Doug is pretty good, right, Doug?
He just cut away and
Yeah.
just went with it. He didn't. We actually must have done it quickly because he didn't show up in the room.
No, I didn't show
See,
up.
so if he didn't show up, then we must have recovered quickly.
Or else he's not out there. You don't know.
That's true, but I very much doubt that he would abandon us in our
You
time of
came in
need.
here with your boots on, and so did I.
Yes. Well, no one can see my
That's
boots.
better than dying with your boots
No,
on.
I'm really wearing very lovely heels.
You are.
Bright
Yes,
red.
yes.
It's a handsome pair of heels.
They're,
We
Ferra-
have between two heels.
they're
All right, okay.
Ferragamos. They're really very nice.
Oh yes, lovely.
What else
Thank
did
you.
you find? Did you find anything
We
else?
didn't get a
here?
chance to go through the month pile of
What about?
stuff.
There's two holidays they're eliminating in the Boston schools.
Oh, here's a wonderful, yes, we're losing Bunker Hill Day and Evacuation Day.
Those are both stupid days, so
But
thank
in the
goodness.
State
But
House,
wait a
nobody
second, I
knows
have
what
a steady gig
evacuation.
on Evacuation
They
Day
don't know
doing
what
Henry Knox.
evacuation
Well, you can
day
still
is
do Henry
anyways.
Knox, but kids
They
do
just
not need to
leave
get
him
out of school.
talking about
A
school.
bomb alert. They leave the
How
White
about
House. or something.
Oklahoma?
What?
How about Oklahoma, who overwhelmingly passed a law outlawing advanced placement?
I know. What's wrong with
Okay,
Well,
what was the purpose
who-
behind it?
who
Why?
in- Who in Oklahoma would be in an advanced placement class? Oh.
They
He said
objected
it,
to the
not
fact
me.
that advanced placement American history, they said, teaches too many of the bad things about American, is undermining American exceptionalism. And
Oh my goodness,
And
you're
so
kidding me, right?
instead of just picking on advanced placement in American history, they have outlawed advanced placement classes entirely.
Wait a minute.
Meaning that no kid from Oklahoma public schools will ever get into a good college again.
That's terrible, and that's broad generalization, which is not accurate. I'm sure there'll be plenty of those children
Yes,
who
there
will push
will.
themselves as hard as they need to get to where they
Have
want to
you
go. But the state has not helped them. That's for sure.
Do you know?
What are they going to take classes outside
You
of
don't
school?
have to have advanced class to,
No, you
get
don't.
to
Get
great.
into a first-rate college? Sure you do.
No, you don't.
No, all you have to have is money, Arch. You know that. That's all you have to have.
I was reading an obituary, and guess who died? Ward.
I didn't get to
Ward
guess.
Swingle.
I would have never guessed that. Would you have
That's
guessed
why I
Ward
joined-
Swingle?
This would have been a long show waiting for us to guess Ward Swingle.
Ward Swingle.
Who's Ward Swingle?
Ward Swingle made.
Do you even know who Ward Swingle is?
Yeah,
Okay.
Ward Swingle.
It must be some reason it hit his eye.
Who knows?
I want to hear the story of
Okay,
Ward
go ahead, go ahead.
Swingle.
Ward Swingle made a record that everybody loved. What? It's a jazzy take on classical music.
Was it a 78?
Yeah, it was about the Swingle Singers brought
Oh, the
classical
Swingle Singers, yes.
music.
What, you didn't know that from Swingle as the last
Swingle.
name?
He was
You
87 years old, and his death. Mozart, for
Okay.
example, was a big one. He jazzed up Mozart.
I thought you were telling
Okay.
me Mozart was a fan.
I was a little confused there for a split second
what
as
was- he was
well.
This is Swingle Singer's big hit.
What do you mean, Mozart? That was it. They swung everything on that thing, and everybody bought that record. They really loved this record.
Really?
And this eventually led to Roll Over Beethoven.
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
You want an interesting... Wait a second, we're off the air. I don't know
No,
what
we're
happened.
still. There's just the TVs.
the,
we're all good.
Wait a second, Michael.
Yeah.
Here's a wonderful musical trivia question.
What?
Since I'm working on my 50th college reunion and I'm trying to put together a tape of
50.
the soundtrack of our lives as undergraduates.
50 years.
Wow.
Would you like to guess what the last song to be #1 in Boston before the first Beatles record was released?
I would not
last
be able
song?
to guess
It was
that
a
at all.
song called
Glory Hallelujah.
Bird Dance Beat by the Trashmen.
Ah.
And it was one of the worst songs ever put out on the air. And the flip side of it was Roll Over Beethoven
Roll
by the
Over
Trashmen. And the flip side of the first Beatles record in the United States was Roll Over Beethoven.
That's
This
hysterical.
guy is trivia, musical
This is
trivia.
impressive here.
Useless information, a whole
No, this
head
is
full.
good.
No, it's a party, that's a party skill.
Yeah, yeah. Fortunately, we're not playing beer pong.
No,
Is it
What?
time?
am I too early?
You're way
Yeah,
too
5
early.
minutes,
okay.
4
You're way
minutes
too early.
All
But
right.
are you in a hurry? You got to be somewhere?
No, I wanna
I mean, we haven't
play-
been here for almost a month, and All right, what do you want to say? She'll be coming round the mountain when she comes.
She'll be riding 6 white horses. She'll be riding 6 white horses.
She'll be driving 6 white horses when
Through
she
the
comes.
She'll be pushing through the snow
With her plow.
People don't
over the
don't
river
know
and
that I am talented.
Yeah.
You are.
Multi-talented.
Over the
You are
river and through
amazingly
the woods to
talented.
I have a
grandmother's house we
kazoo at
go.
home that I might bring in. All right.
The horse knows the way to follow the sleigh through the white and drifting snow.
I'm very tempted to completely join in with you.
When's the last time you saw snow on Thanksgiving?
Do you think?
You have to be in another state.
What about? Here are all these teachers that haven't been teaching. Well, they had all this time off.
My daughter
know.
says she's had like 6 one-day school weeks in a row.
6
Wow.
Well, she doesn't teach on Thursday anyway, and so she's been teaching like 1 day at a time with all the
Wow.
cancellations. She's yet since the beginning of this thing to string 2 days together. Very frustrating.
And now, does she normally work just like 2 days a week as
No, she normally works 4 days a week.
Okay.
I think they're going to have trouble in June, though. I think. But
With what?
With how far they go.
With
How
the
many
kids?
days to make up? I think there are.
Well, it's very funny. The people in the
it's
there's
time.
been a discussion in
1
Brooklyn
minute.
as to whether they should start going on
Faster, faster.
Saturday or extend the school year. All I can say is the fact that they had that discussion indicates to me Brookline is not as Jewish as it once was.
Right.
There you have it.
Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene.
Nice piano.
Irene, good night. Irene, good night. We'll see you in our dreams. Good night, everybody. Good night, Irene, from the fun show at
Compliments of
Big
Kiera.
TV. And
Piano.
bigger TV.
everybody be careful, stay warm, don't slip on the ice, and we'll do our best to see you next week here on Channel 3.
When we come
Same
out
time,
of our
same
igloos
big
next week.
station.
Same big station.
There's
Yeah.
I
there's
said Bat Station.
Yeah, it's now same
there's a
big
polar bear.
station.
Not Bat Station?
No, it's not bad
This
station.
polar
Big
bear
station.
wants to come on the show next week.